This year's Democracy Award honors the work of 4 courageous civil society groups who are working to confront the crisis of democracy in a region so close to our own, Central America, as we heard at the White House today, a region that is our home. These 4 outstanding organizations are representative of a larger effort at the grassroots in Nicaragua, in Honduras, El Salvador, and Guatemala to address critical issues of governance, accountability, and human rights that are so fundamental to the struggle for democracy, justice, and human dignity in the region.
Too often, corruption, weak governance, disinformation, and impunity undercut human and civil rights and fuel the potential of authoritarianism to spread to other parts of the region. And that threat is very real. Your 4 organizations are a bright light exposing injustice, inequality, corruption, and impunity. As Justice Brandeis wrote in 1913, if the broad light of day could be let in upon men's actions, it would purify them as the sun disinfects. And your organizations showcase just some of the great work being done in Central America and the commitment of Central Americans to build a brighter future for themselves and their children. That is true resilience.
The wave between democracy and authoritarian governments in Latin America is not new. This is the one we are somewhat still living in. Is the 3rd wave of democracy. Particularly, I'm very afraid that we are starting already to live, the authoritarian, a new authoritarian era.
We have to continue being alert. We have to continue working with civil society. We have to continue in enforcing the alerts of what human rights defenders tell the international community of what's going on inside the countries.
Right now, what we have is basically populist regimes paying an army of trolls that are capitalizing on the very same technology that was supposed to democratize news and information to not only create campaigns against journalists, but also using technology to hack in the communications of the media and human rights defenders, and basically trying to minimize the fact-based reporting that good journalists are doing.
I think you have to listen us, because sometimes you believe that you are listening us, but you are really not listening us. Our institutions are very weak, so believe the other people that are in power and what the institutions are saying, and that's a lie. And that's why they listen to the government, and they are not listening us. So we appreciate that National Endowment has been honoring civil society, because maybe by our reports you're listening us and reading us, that we're saying the truth.
No hay duda que esa forma de gobernar desde una posición de concentración absoluta de poder es dañina no solo para Nicaragua y de lo que estábamos escuchando en las conversaciones, todos estamos viendo malas señales de esa tendencia autoritaria de los gobiernos, y que en definitiva no hay que esperar que ese cáncer, ¿verdad?, le haga más daño a las sociedades.
We just have this belief that we as citizens truly are empowered to participate in the political process in the measure that you can access to public information. That was really the notion that made us begin with Tracora. And over the years, that is what we have tried to keep going. Again, that very basic idea that we have the power to hold our governments accountable.
We need to know our history, and we realize that our generation didn't know what happened in Honduras in the 90s or in the 80s, or why democracy failed in Honduras with a coup d'etat in 2009.
And you have in these 4 NGOs that Ned is representing tonight, great examples of just small, grassroots, humble, but powerful and motivated and courageous leaders. And if you invest in leaders like that or organizations like that, it is the most likely path that we are going to have to be successful in finding our American brothers and sisters forging their own paths to futures where they don't have to export their young people to other countries, but their young people can live in their neighborhoods near their families and friends and have opportunities.
Going forward, it is essential for the United States and our international partners to leverage our diplomatic influence and economic power to hold Ortega and his allies accountable for their history of abuse and consolidation into dictatorship. And we must continue the important work with NGOs like NED to recognize and support these courageous organizations such as Nicaragua Nunca Más as they expose the world to the abuses of authoritarian regimes while supporting countless of their fellow citizens who remain and fight every day under brutal repression. So congratulations to Gonzalo and Wendy and to all of your colleagues at Nicaragua Nunca Más. We are truly humbled by your courage and your work every day to stand up for your fellow citizens. I am honored to present you with the 2021 Democracy Award.
It is increasingly clear that we cannot rely on these governments as credible partners. So instead, we must rely on civil society to carry the mantle of democracy. This is why it is such an honor to present this award to the Transparency, Social Controller, and Open Data Association from El Salvador and the Myrna Mac Foundation of Guatemala. You face daily mental, physical, and professional risks for challenging the status quo and speaking truth to power. Every day, it seems that there are new setbacks and provocations for those of us who care about the rule of law. However, those of you here, those of you in the region, continue to fight despite the great personal risks to you, to your lives, and to your families. Your commitment and your bravery give me hope for the region. It is the reason why I continue to fight and push alongside you. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity tonight.
Today, Contra Corriente provides accurate, objective, in-depth coverage on human rights, the environment, migration issues, corruption, and impunity. Its brave and committed journalists take serious risks to cover topics that are often censored or underreported because they threaten powerful and dangerous interests. As Senator Kaine noted earlier, the risks that we're seeing to journalists today are in some ways worse than they were at the height of the violence in the region. And so I just, to see these two young women taking on this task, it's such an inspiration for all of us. For their inspiring work to advance independent media and their deep and abiding commitment to transparency, truth, and justice as transformative forces in their region and beyond, it is my pleasure to present Contra Corriente today and Jennifer and Catherine personally with this award.